Shalom, shalom, family. In this video, I want to discuss the parabolic baptism in Moses. And before I begin, I want to say that I realize that I have not taught any of you about these terms which I'm going to bring up, which you need to master and understand. Those terms are the promise, the fulfillment of the promise, and the fulfillment of what was promised. I will use these terms in this teaching because you need to see what happened when all the rejected members of all Israel were baptized into Moses at the time that they crossed over the Sea of Reeds, which is typically mistranslated as the Red Sea. Now, to understand the key components of the imagery of the Sea of Reeds, you must know its origin and what the people believed about the crossing of the Sea of Reeds. That is extremely important to your knowledge of the understanding of the mystery that was hidden in the first 5 books of the writing of Moses and the prophets. In First Corinthians 9, verse 24 through 27, it says, "Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may win. Everyone who competes in the games exercises self-control in all things. They then do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable wreath. Therefore I run in such a way as not without aim. I box in such a way as not beating the air. I discipline my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified." Now, the Apostle Paul in this verse is using the parabolic imagery of competing in a Roman contest. And he compares the events that will take place in the last days in which they lived, as do we, to a contest. That is the last contest, which is why Jesus says what he says in Revelation chapter 3. But before I go there, he says, everyone who competes in the games exercises self-control in all things. Self-control in all things. In other words, they put off the things that are happening on the outside so that they can focus on running in this contest, exerting their energy in this contest. And he says they do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable wreath. Therefore, he says, I run in such a way as not without aim. In other words, he is running so that he can hit the target, not running to miss the mark, to miss the target. He says he boxed in such a way, not as not beating the air. So what he's saying here is that he completely intends on engaging in the target for which he is boxing. And so he says, I discipline my body and make it my slave so that I do not miss the target. So that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified. In other words, he is saying that after he has preached to others, he is not trying to be disqualified because he has preached but was pretending. He has preached to others but was pretending. He says that he doesn't want to do that. That's why he disciplines his body. Now, I said that he compared it to a Roman contest, which in these last days, we are in the last contest, which is why Jesus says this in Revelation chapter 3. And he says, "And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things say he who is holy, he who is true, he who has the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. I know your works. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. For you have a little strength, have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Indeed, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Indeed, I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you, because you have kept my command to preserve." And what he's talking about preserving, or the word of my patience, he's talking about the name.